You. Okay, thank you so much. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Allow me to acknowledge our distinguished guest, President of Black Management Forum, Mr. Mpomzei, and the First Lady, Honorable Minister Ronald Lamula, the MEC of Lidet, Chitareke Matibe, the representative from University of Venda, Professor Mulauzi, our councillor, Sarah Ramabuddha, the sponsors from Old Mutual, Professor Chufularo in his absentia, and Womsanda Chufularo, we welcome you. And the Munati guy, we welcome you. Hope you're going to offer us something tonight. All protocol is observed. This evening we gathered here to celebrate and honor the creams of the crops, leaders who have shown unwavering determination in their respected field. They have turned their bold vision into reality, from pioneering electric vehicle leasing to restoring the gift of hearing. Their impact will truly be etched in the history of humanity. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's theme is harnessing black excellence to drive economy, innovation, and geopolitical influence. Is a testament that black child, it is possible. We need to move from being only consumers of global innovation to being producers and owners of it, like our guest being honored tonight. This is not just a celebration of talent. It is a production engine that has the potential to reshape global markets and tilt the balance of geopolitical influence. We often think of excellence as an individual achievement, but when we connected across the province, country, black excellence becomes a collective force that is capable of building innovation ecosystem, setting global standards, and mobilizing capital of transformative scale, and that is why we are here tonight. Minister Lamola, we hope that the platforms will be created for professionals and more especially the youth gathered in this hall to be innovators in their different industries and allow their skill to circulate seamlessly. Without assistance of government or rather capital, many of our people get stuck with ideas and no funds to turn them into life. The government intervention is in this regard could impact communities positively while eradicating the poverty, unemployment, and equality in our country. We live in a world where ideas are available. I believe that if we harness black excellence with intention, we'll not only transform South Africa, but Africa as a whole. We could reshape the every architect of global innovation influence. In closing, in one of recent Black Management Forum publication, the President Mpo says, I quote, "This start of long-held dream by our leadership to see development of Black Management Academy, which will produce black leaders who will forge a path of black excellence in our society." Close quote. The future is something we need to build, and together we are building it now. Thank you so much.
Warm round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Don't be stingy with those applause, please. You must applaud, otherwise I will delay the program. I will. You know, Chairperson, I remember last year what I said, and I'm sorry. Let me tell you why I'm apologizing. I found out recently that she has a friend who is an explosives expert. They're there working in the mines together. And when I found out she's got a friend who knows how to handle a stick of dynamite, I said, I'm never gonna mess with this woman because I love life. Can you imagine being blown up to pieces? You will find my other teeth over there. You'll find my big head over there. So I've just said, no, I'm never gonna say anything bad about our provincial chair. Also because I wanna be in the BMF for a while. You know, Lina, I want to be counted amongst the men core there. So no more career limiting jokes. You understand, ladies and gentlemen. Uh, Let us allow words by the sponsor. It's always important to have partnerships, and it's always crucial to honor and give those who are willing to partner with any initiative some time to come and say what they want to say. And with that, I will kindly request Miss Lintel Sekosana to come to the stage. Let's. Oh, you see, another career limiting mistake there. Yes. Ah, easy. Mr. Mudahu. Please come through. Hey, you rescued me there. Because it would have been apology after apology. Ah, bo Mudahu, aye. Avari chireri. Nda.
Ndima Adekwana, good evening. I think before I start, it is important that I do acknowledge and, of course, thank you for the opportunity to come and speak. I think it is always a privilege, and I always say that in as much as I am based in Gauteng, at every moment and every opportunity that I get an invite to speak back home, it is a privilege. So all protocols observed. I am tempted to try and go through the entire program, but I am also wary and I do not want to leave anyone behind. Murunzi wanga auntenderi urindingaya tabani. So I would truly appreciate it if bachingantusa uri ndireshe mavu zwavudi. Biraru kakame. Thank you. Now, with that being said, I'm going to tackle three things from Old Mutual. I'm not Dinkles Kosana. She is the regional manager for Polokwane. But we do have our regional manager, Mr. Ndo, with me there, and the team from the three different business units that we have. The one is the Old Mutual Finance business unit. We've got the personal finance business unit, as well as the retail mass, which is known as group schemes. Now, from the three things I want to highlight, I'll kickstart with a quote from Tracy Spears. And she says, being in debt is hard. Being financially disciplined is hard. Choose your heart. I'll repeat it for free. Being in debt is hard. Being financially disciplined is hard. Choose your heart. Now, what do we do at Old Mutual? Two things that we do. Number one, we help clients build wealth. And the analogy behind that, anything that is created, anything that is built, must be protected. So what we do is wealth creation and wealth protection. Now, with that being said, I think it would be amiss of me to not highlight a few statistics, particularly looking at the some of the guests or the main people that will be honored today, being a doctor or a medical professional. Now, we are in the season from Old Mutual where we are currently looking at the awareness months and our relationship with the medicinal world. Now, allow me to share a few interesting statistics we currently have. Number one, South Africa is the second most stressed out nation in the world. 1 in 3 males and 1 in 4 females will suffer a cardiovascular event before the age of 60. 1 in 7 South African women will get cancer of the breast. 1 in 6 South African men will suffer prostate cancer. Now, what do I want to leave you with this evening? 3 things that are key and important when we speak about wealth creation and wealth protection. Number one, Protect your income. Now, we understand that income molds and creates lifestyle. Therefore, when income is impacted, lifestyle is affected. I will repeat it. When income is impacted, lifestyle is affected. Therefore, the first thing that I want to leave you with is, if everything fails in your financial planning, ensure that you protect your income. Once your income is protected, the house you stay in, hopefully not the person you are married to, the car that you drive, all other aspects are linked to your income. Once your income is protected, your lifestyle is secured. Number two, protect those that rely on you financially. Now, unfortunately, you can die with your money, but you do not die with your responsibilities. In the event of death, everything that you are responsible for continues. A worrying statistic in my space, I'm a senior product marketing specialist with Old Mutual, is the fact that in Limpopo in particular, when you look at statistics from ASISA, from 100%, if we look at the product offering from Old Mutual, 73.9 is funeral insurance. I will repeat it for free. From 100%, 73.9% is funeral insurance. Listen to my heart and not my words. We do not plan only for death. Interesting enough, one of the key pioneers for living insurance was a doctor from South Africa, Dr. Marius Bernard. Now, one of his quotes is, we need insurance not only because we are going to die, but because we are going to live. 80% of people that suffer a heart attack survive. 66% of people that suffer a stroke do not die. And the question is always, have you planned to survive? Ensure that you protect your income. Number two, your responsibilities need to be secured. And lastly, protect the assets that generate income for you. I heard we've got Mr. Munati Chicken. It is important that the asset that helps you generate income is protected. Being in debt is hard. Being financially disciplined is hard. And I hope you choose the right heart. Thank you.
I don't know why you are clapping. I don't know why you are clapping. I remember the first time I heard any statistic was when I was in high school. And then they said 1 out of 4 South Africans is unfortunately going to die of HIV or AIDS related. Then we start in class. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm not number 4. So as he was mentioning the one about the heart attack, I was counting people there. 1, 2, 3, up to 7. It's shocking, but it's the truth. We are stuck between a rock and a hard place. You need to choose carefully, Hori. Where do you want to land? On top of a rock or on top of a hard place? Yeah, it's all hard. You just need to choose. Thank you for those eye-opening words. But go ahead, start counting there. Ladies, yours, you just need to count up to 1 up to 7. Hanamu, where you end up on number 7, you must know they need insurance. That is for sure. We are moving along very smoothly, and I must applaud all the speakers for coming here and being precise. I think the only person wasting time is myself. But it's all right. It's okay. I'm going to ask Mr. Rendani Makane, who is a local businessman. We heard where he is from Munati Chicken. I must say, when I saw that building coming up and rising, I thought, another funeral business. another funeral business right here in Toyanto. Can't you, what is it about it? Then I was very, very impressed to find out, oh, no, it's not our funeral. It's the chickens and the cows. It's their funeral. We only go there to eat. And I must say, I've been there. My wife, whose surname I might take on next year, she has taken me out there to impress me. And I was very impressed. So let's give a warm round of applause to Mr. Rendani Makare from Munati Chicken.
Ndi madekwana nṋe ndo ima phanḓa afha phanḓa ndi pfhi Makhale Rendani, the founder of Munati Chicken and Steak. So ndi ḓo thoma nga u lumelisa vhathu vha tevhelaho, Honorable Minister Ronald Lamula, Thulamela Mayor Councillor Rambuda, President of BMF Mpomotsei, and MEC Bochitreker Matipe, Ndolivu. Now upfi ndi share story cha hafha Munati Chicken. Munati Chicken yo thoma nga 2016 nga dzi 9 dza December. So nṋe ndi tshi thoma hei business a thongo i thoma ndoṱhe, ndo i thoma na mufumakadzi wanga ane avha Lufuno Primrose Makhale. Unfortunately o mbo ḓi fareledzea nga zwiṅwe athinaye, mara tshiṱori tshanga tsha Munati Chicken tshi a ḓifha tshi a vhavha, naho ngauri tshifhinga tshanga ndi tshiṱuku ndi si nga to tshika pfesesa. Chicken i tshi thoma a yo ngo to thoma zwithu zwi zwavhuḓi, ro thoma ri makete hu sina tshithu. Vhathu vho no nga vho Tom Dagada vha zwi ḓivha, vho vha phathi ya lwendo lwashu, vha vha tshi ḓa tshiṅwe tshifhinga mvula dzi khou na, mara vha vha sa neti vha tshi khou ri tikedza. Then 2017 ro ya ra vula branch yashu ya u thoma Malamulele. Nga 2018 ra ya ra vula 2020 Mukula. Nga 2021 ra vha na branch Thohoyandou CBD, and then nga 2023 ndi hafho he a bvelela hei yo no pfi Munati City. So Munati City yo loriwa ndo i lora nga 2018 uri hafha Venḓa a ri na modern food court. Food court here na vha nayo ndi nthihi fhedzi ine ya vha Thavhani Mall, mara it's not modernized, but nṋe nda ḓa na muhumbulo wa uri a ri ite a modern food court. So
ri hafha Munati City, zwino hafha Munati City ndi hafho ndo dzula ḓuvha ḽa ṋamusi. Zwino hei Munati City ine ro dzula khayo i wanala nga hafha kha gondo ḽa Phunda Maria. Fhedziha vha na dzi branches fhethu ho fhambananaho, kana ndi fhethu hunzhi hune vho vula hune vha ḓivha vha khou rengisa zwezwi zwirengiswa zwine vha khou rengisa zwone. Ndi ya Lufule hune havha hafha Munati City. Vha dovha hafhu Tshihangeini Thohoyandou ndi tsini na Limdev, kandi ri Limdev building tsini na bookshop hele ya kale na kale ya Mbeu. Vha dovha hafhu vha vha na branch Hangeini Mukula musi vha tshi khou tsela ngani
at least kari kono catera muṅwe na muṅwe vha tshi dzhena hafhaḽa nga ngomu hu dovha vha na kids play area hune miṱa minzhi ya kona u ḓa nga vho 9 nga am vha wana vha khou ṱuwa nga 12 am. So ro itela fhethu vhathu havhuḓi nga maanḓa. Vhaṅwe vha sa u ḓivhi nda ndi tshi khou ri ndi khou vha ramba uri kha vha ḓe vha vhone vhukoni ha ṅwana wa muvenḓa. Vha nga vha vha khou sokou vhona lunzhemo lu, mara nṋe ndo begwa nga muvenḓa. Zwino hezwi zwithu zwoṱhe zwine vha khou zwi vhona zwi khou itea Munati Chicken, ri khou zwi ita hu na thikhedzo ine i nga vha i tshi bva kana kha mini, mara ndi khou takala ṋamusi ngauri ri na vho Tshiṱereke Matibe vho no validate, ra vha na honorable minister uri Munati Chicken wo rali u a ṱoḓa thikhedzo u bva muvhusoni. Nda dovha nda takala ngauri hu na vho meyara vho ri thusa musi ri tshi vula heiḽa building uri kha vha ri tikedze kha uḽa mushumo, ngauri ri khou u creator mishumo ine ndi tshi nga vhalela I think plus minus 80 wa vhathu vhane nṋe ndo vha thola ṋamusi. Nda vha na plus minus 40 vhane ndi dzi temp, vhaṅwe ndi vha khou ḓa vha indirect nga nḓila yori vha ḓo vha vha khou supplya zwithu zwo fhambananaho. So mushumo une ra khou ita ndi muhulwane nga maanḓa, u a remisa ṱhoho nga maanḓa. Tshiṅwe tshifhinga u nga tori u khou vuwa nga matsheloni wa pfha tshiṅwe tshifhinga na u sa nyaga uya ngori mutsiko ndi munzhi, mara u khou zwi ita arali hu na vhatiki zwi a naka. Hu tou uri hu na zwiṅwe zwine a zwi shavhei. Nṋe ndi tshi ḓa kha hei business, thongo ya tshikoloni tsha business zwo tou vha mafhungo a mbidzo ayo kha vhufunzi fhedzi, mara na kha business i hone. So ndi khou livhuwa nga maanḓa u fhiwa hetshi tshifhinga, naho tsho vha tshifhinga tshiṱuku, mara ndi khou livhuwa vhathu vhoṱhe vho thetshelesa tshiṱori tshanga. Ndi khou uya hoya ri ḓo vha vhona vha tshi khou tikedza heḽia bindu uri ḽi sa nge ḽiṅwe ḽa mabindu a vhuya vha hone mara ṋamusi ha tsha exist. Heḽi bindu ri khou tea u ḽi vhona kha province dzashu dza 9 dzoṱhe. Ri tshi ya Cape Town kha ri wane hu tshi pfhi hu na Munati Chicken, ri tshi ya Gauteng kha ri wane hu tshi pfhi hu na Munati Chicken. Zwino hezwi zwithu u woṱhe zwi a konḓa. Zwino nṋe nda ndi tshi khou ri vha Old Mutual vho amba uri ndi a zwi ḓivha uri vha tika mabindu maṱuku, riṋe ri kha ḓivha naho ro fhaṱa hetshila tshifhaṱo mara ri kha ḓivha vhaṱukuṱukuṱuku. Ri khou humbela uri ri tikiwe uri zwi tshimbile. Ndaa.
Zwanda. It's quite an honor to finally meet such a distinguished businessman. After many years of standing and watching the business grow from humble beginnings to where it is today, it is really touching. I know as a businessman, he went into marketing his current venture. He didn't go too much into talking about where he comes from. And I think that is one of those stories that a lot of people need to hear, a lot of people need to know that you can start from selling 10 chickens a day to such a great empire. And let's give him a warm round of applause. Thank you very much, Ro Ribua. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor and privilege to invite to the stage our honorable president of the BMF, Mr. Mpho Motsei. And once again, for fear of making career-limiting remarks, I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to say, let's give him a warm round of applause.
Today I'm not wearing a shiny suit, and I was tired of this guy commenting about my suit. So Colleagues, we took the opportunity. This is a friend of mine, Rendani. I call him my brother. I remember driving along with him, looking for tenders around. And he didn't have a car at that time. And there was a time where he said to me, I am tired of this tendering. I want to go into serious business. And he got, I think, a little bit of tender that made him to be able to buy a Yaris. So he bought a Yaris. After buying a Yaris, and then he went and buy chickens. And then he stood on the road there, on Punda Maria Road, for those who knows. Stood on the road there with the wife every day, selling one chicken at a time. His story was very inspiring. This is why I said he must come here. And I said, this story needs to be known. And I said, you must come and tell it like it is. And we'll put up the pictures of where he started. Some of the pictures that are there are when he's now growing up a little bit. But he was there under the tree, moved from this side of the road to the other side of the road. He hired somewhere else there, I remember. And I don't know what happened, whether they wanted to fire you to get out because they can see now you are gaining momentum. He moved from this side of the road, he comes to the other side of the road. But then, colleagues, I saw his business growing. And for me, my mind was telling me, you can't talk about Black Excellence Award if you're not celebrating a person like this. It will be purposefulness for us. Indians support each other. If they know there is a garage in Malamulele and they want to go to Polokwane, they will drive from Toyando and go fill up their cars there. And then they drive to Polokwane. It must be a deliberate move from us to support each other. If this business fails, it's you who's sitting here. If this man fails, it's us with our suits who's sitting here to make him fail. You don't have to give him money, but it's to buy every time and make it deliberate. Instead of getting into a certain brand, you decide you go to his shop. And the government, the work of the government is to create the environment to be conducive enough for him to strive. He told me the story, and he will talk to the MEC directly and other people so that we can make his business to grow. But we must deliberately support him. It is our duty from where we're sitting. We can't be Black Management Forum if we don't support our very own businesses. Doesn't make sense. Minister of International Relations and Corporations, Honorable Ronald Lamola, MEC of Limpopo Economic Development and Environment and Tourism, Honorable Chitereke Matibe, Bembe District Executive Mayor in absentia, Frida Nkondo, Tulamela Local Municipality Mayor, our mother who's always here every time when we're having this, Bosara, Councillor Sarah Ramboda, the representative from the University of Venda, by the way, representing VC for being here, Professor Chilidzi Muraudzi, she was my lecturer. Bafoe, Dr. J. G. Chifularo, thank you very much, sir, for honoring us. Our past recipient for the year 2023, Ms. Mboya Simango, is here in our midst. somewhere the light is not bright for us to see her. Our special guest and recipient tonight, I said to you, Arek, this is your night. So everything we have done here and with your family, we were doing it for you. We are deliberate like that in the BMF. And we take ourselves serious like that because we take you serious. So with your family, we want them to know that the hard work and the sleepless nights that you have always been there, we are recognizing it. Thank you very much, ma'am, for accepting our award. Msanda from Msanda Foundation, is he here? I was asking my wife and says, this guy is very famous. Who's this guy, man? It's like, hey, why not? They will kill you in Venda if you don't know this guy. You need to know this guy, to research. And he's doing wonderful work, and we really thank him for the work that he does. The BMF Limpopo Provincial Chairperson, Ms. Daisy Rapela, thank you very much, ma'am. You are driving a big ship now, and you are doing a brilliant work. BMF Provincial, Mpumalanga Provincial Chairperson Tulani Mulangeni is also here in our midst. BMF Limpopo Provincial Treasurer, Mr. Klasi Khupa. BMF Provincial Secretary, Mr. Marcus Mwakumela. Our guests from National Office, Ms. Gugu and Ms. Mami. Thank you very much for making time in Limpopo. You must show them that Kishangola Mutagaharom. Renadi fruits we don't buy, we get them in there, we ask them in. Aonatala mo venda. It was the first time in Nagizur venda aonatala. Goma kwano na letala. Mo aonatala. This is why now we came here, because of that purpose. You can't sleep with hunger around here. Our guest and local businessman, Mr. Randani, thank you very much, sir, for honoring us. The representative from the Old Mutual, Mr. Mdao, thank you very much. You're such an eloquent speaker with a nice voice, eh? This guy, Shandu, must recruit this man. No. He's one of our crop. We are very proud of you. You are staying here. Our stalwarts is here. And ladies and gentlemen, this event was conceptualized back in 2018 after the president, now this time the president of the country, announced Mr. Ronald Lamola as the Minister of Justice and Correctional Services. This was formed by the fact that BMF as the organization advocates for black excellence and economic transformation in both public sector and corporate South Africa. The decision of the president was thus a great transformation stride, because the minister at that time, he was still a youth and yet entrusted with the big ministry. It called for celebration at the BMF, and we deliberately and intentionally moved towards that direction. The BMF Limpopo then saw the opportunity to collaborate with the University of Venda, because the minister is the alumni and alma mater at the University of Venda. It is in this event that was held in October 2019, for the first time, that the minister declared this event to be an annual event. Now listen to the years. 7 years later, we are still here and growing strong. Unlike other politicians, you keep your word, say. You are dispelling the narratives that politicians lie. They don't keep their commitments. 7 years later, he's still here, and he's here with us. In 2022, the BMF Limpopo decided to introduce the Black Excellence Awards as part of the event. I think we were scared that maybe we might lose the ministry. Like, hey, this event is not going to be relevant. But after all, he came back very strong. The idea was to recognize and celebrate professionals who are doing exceptionally well in different industries, following through from our celebration of the initial minister's appointment. The BMF has the discretion in terms of who should be awarded by having regard to their economic and professional contribution. Our first ever recipient in 2022 were the Vice Chancellor and Principal of the University of Venda, Professor Bernard Ntambeleni, alongside Dr. Mike Nkuna of Masingita Group. In 2023, we awarded Ms. Mboya Simango, who runs a chain of postnets around, has contract in the mines and doing pretty well as a businesswoman, who is in our midst today. We also awarded Mr. Patuchezo Makwarela for Chedza Pictures for his contribution in the South African television and film industry. Last year, 2024, we saw it fit to honor the minister for serving diligently in the 6th administration without scandal. Remember? We saw it fit as the BMF to honor him and for being trusted with yet another strategic ministry in the 7th administration. He was awarded alongside the person standing before you. And I must emphasize that this was a blindside, and it was a blindside award. And as I completely had no idea until my name was called in front. So I didn't read the information, colleagues. I was informed that I was being recognized for being the first BMF president to emerge from the province. We also introduced the Life Achievement Award, which was awarded to Professor Moshe Nkondo for his contribution as an academic and scholar. May his soul continue to rest in peace. Maybe, Minister, just a little bit, before the passing of Professor Nkondo, we asked him to come and become one of the speakers and guest speakers in the awards that we were supposed to honor you. A week after, when I was trying to call him, that's when I heard the bad news. But he already agreed to say he's coming. Somehow, Professor, can't we have the lecture of Professor Nkondo? Can you take it to the VC? That can we have the lecture, the annual lecture of Professor Moshe Nkondo? He has done brilliant contribution in the country. We should really, really celebrate that man. And of course, we'll lead it in front as the BMF to make sure that it happens. This year, we are going to honor another great talent, much of which you will hear about in due time. We are also going to present the second Lifetime Achievement Award, and this time it is not of something that happened after a person has passed on. Minister, you would have heard Mr. Makale talking about his journey as a local businessman. It was deliberate for us to afford him the opportunity to come and share his story because he's contributing to the economy of this area. I mean, if he's hiring or he has hired about 80 employees that he supports, colleagues, is something else. And we know if you give one person in a family, you are feeding how many mouths? Really, he deserves a round of applause from where we're sitting. Let us support local business, colleagues. And it must be very deliberate about doing that. Because supporting him means supporting his employees, feeding many other mouths that are dependent on them. Ladies and gentlemen, it is also imperative for me to mention that Old Mutual has been part of the journey as a sponsor since we started, and we are sincerely grateful for that. Can we clap hands for them? They've always been there. I also want to thank BMF Limpopo, particularly Toyando branch under the leadership of Mr. Tom Dagat, for always making sure that this event is bigger, better each year, for always managing to raise the funds and make it possible. By the way, Minister and MEC, BMF Limpopo is the biggest in the country, not only the branch. With Toyando being the biggest branch nationwide. That is a testament of the type of leader both Tom is. We appreciate you, sir. And I conclude, I want to convey my sincere gratitude to Coroni Hotel. I'm glad because even the general manager is in our midst this evening. Now, this one I wanted to stand up. Where is she? And raise the hand. Take the light to her. The camera must take it, must go to her. Where is she? Is she here? Ah, here, there she is. I want the camera, the lights, and what? They must go to her. They must see her. There's a reason why I'm doing that. You can sit down, ma'am. Thank you very much. She's a daughter of, this is daughter of the soil. Our Corona has been led by so many people. But this time, it's the daughter of the soil who is wearing. And we are very proud. And not only that, Bafu, she's a woman who is in leadership. We are taking it for granted that women can lead corporates, and they can lead it well, even sometimes better than us men. So thank you very much. She also needs our support. Thank you very much, GM, for always hosting us since the inception of this event. And ladies and gentlemen, let's be merry and enjoy the evening tonight. And I guarantee you, you are going to have great time because Mr. Madima will make sure you laugh your lungs out. He must really consider stand-up comedy, this man. I don't know why he's wasting his time at choice. It was by design to have him as a program director. And for that being said, I thank you. Thank you very much.
Let's give him a warm round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. You can see this year, I'm not the only one who changed the suit or the BMF clothes. You know, you have clothes that you wear to every event. And I saw a picture of myself there on the screen, and I'm like, that jacket from last year, this year I must do things differently. But I must say, ladies and gentlemen, we need to rush the program because the gentleman that I borrowed this from, he's going to a wedding tomorrow. And I've already received a WhatsApp. So please, we don't want to ruin a good arrangement. I give him some of my stuff so he looks new where he's going. And he gives me some of his stuff so that I look new where I'm going. The only problem is that every now and then I've got a habit of digging in my pockets. I won't tell you what I found the last time. You leave that to your imagination. But Mr. Mutse, I don't know where you got the suit from, but you must send a message to that person and say, Sunday, I'll bring it back, Bafunzi. Bafunzi, ndidoiwisa suit ngasonda. Ikadishuma. Iko yoshuma na royal machero. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much to our president, Mr. Mpo Motsei. I think if there was anybody who should be changing should be changing a surname. You know, once you once you've stayed in Venda long enough, I think you deserve a surname. Yeah, First Lady, I think I've spoken for you there to make things to make things easy. Then we can claim him and say he's a son of the soil. Yeah, yeah. This one, Wodanga Koromo. Hey, yeah. Message of support from the University of Venda. Prof. Chilidzi Molaudzi. I must say, the VC inspired me. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I'm not wearing formal shoes. I'm wearing mateki because I've seen it's like the VC also now he'll wear a suit vambarana mateki. So I've learned something from the VC there. But Prof, you'll send a message to him and say, no, Shando Guda, Shando Guda. Let's give Professor Chilidzi Mulauzi a warm round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Let me help you out. You good?
Hey, the program director has intimidated me big time. And I know if I go beyond the time that he has indicated, he will just come and pull me off the stage. So I don't want that embarrassment to happen. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to ride on the protocol that was observed by Councillor Bosara Rambuda, Mayor of Thulamela Municipality. On behalf of the University of Venda, I'm honored to stand before you to deliver a message of support to the BMF and to the organizers of this event. We say that you are on the right track. As the university, we encourage our students to be entrepreneurs. And this is evident in our current strategic plan, where we have one of our strategic objectives, which states that we want to develop an entrepreneurial culture amongst our students and also community members. So to have BMF giving awards to our distinguished performers, we believe this will encourage all of us to utilize our potential to become excellent performers in our own spaces. As a University of Venda, we are also humbled because one of the recipients of the award, Professor Mashudu Chifularo, did his BSc at Univen. That was the time when the University of Venda was called Minguni. And that name has completely disappeared. And one of the reasons why the name disappeared is because the community outside Limpopo has now seen our great work, and also not only in the country, but also internationally. So we have so many students, former students, who have passed from the University of Venda, and today they are doing a lot of work in the country and also internationally. And even here amongst us, most of us have passed through the University of Venda before we went elsewhere. And we have also observed that those who went to the University of Venda, when they leave the university, they don't just leave and then their names disappear. They become excellent performers. So we really want to encourage BMF to do the kind of work that you are doing by, encouraging and acknowledging and awarding best performers in our country. The economic challenges that we are facing require that we all collaborate. All sectors of our economy must define our real purpose and objective. One is tempted to call for a nationwide indaba in which all these challenges can be discussed and a way forward is charted. I believe that with the number of institutions of higher learning and with collaborations of committed organizations like the Black Management Forum, we can collaborate and develop a framework that will unite us to forge a powerful agenda for our local economic innovation and make our geopolitical influence heard and felt. And in conclusion, by embracing diversity and harnessing the economic power of our Black excellence, we do not only strengthen our economy, but also uphold the principles of justice, equality, and opportunity. This will enable us to forge a way towards a brighter future, which is more inclusive and where every individual has a chance to achieve their dream. May I therefore wish all of us a good evening and networking opportunities. I thank you.
A warm round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much, Professor. You know that name, Yamingoni, yes, it disappeared because of the achievements of many great students from there, but also because the mango trees were brought to the ground. During the time when I was there, during the time of Honorable Minister, during the time of our President Mpomutse, those mango trees were still there. In fact, I think it's one of the reasons why the guerrilla movement at the University of Venda has died somehow, because now there are no more mango trees to hide under. You see, before we knew that during Mzabalazo, you could go steal things from the cafeteria and run and hide under those mango trees. Now those students, they got nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. The guerrilla movement has died because those mango trees are not there anymore. It's not only the guerrilla movement that has died, but the the archer business the archer business has been affected locally, and I would think internationally, because a lot of people used to come and harvest those mangoes there at the University of Venda. Thank you, Professor. We really appreciate your message of support. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to ask Honorable Chitereke Matibe, who is the MEC for Lidet, to come and give us remarks and presentation of the keynote speaker. Let's give him a warm round of applause as he ascends the stage.
Thank you very much, Program Director. I also support the move that the Program Director must be changed. Even last year when I was here, it was very problematic. Thank you very much. To the Minister of International Relations and Cooperation, Honorable Ronald Lamula, to the President of BMF, Mr. Mpomutse. This thing of presidency, I was whispering to the minister, there are a lot of presidents here, we will have problems. And now I see my friend, Mr. Mpomutse, even your wife is the first lady. We only know one first lady there. by Mr. Ramaphosa. Thank you very much. To Your Worship, the Mayor of Thulamela Local Municipality, Vakoma vo Sararambuda, the Chairperson of BMF in Limpopo, the Prof from the Investor Vendor representing the VC, our special guests, Mr. Rendani and Ms. Magadagera, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Rendani has put me on the spot. He said the MEC is here. The good thing, Mr. Mtsei, I've got the board member of leader with me. So, Mr. Rendani, before you go, you take her numbers, because she's the one who must assist you to get whatever you want. Anybody who wants any issues with business, don't come to me. She's here. Don't go without taking her numbers. You rescued me because you are here. I'm very happy that she's part of the people who will be awarded here, because we have appointed her in the board of leader. It means when we appointed her, we did not make a mistake. We appointed correctly. It is my singular honor to once again join you at the BMF Excellence Awards, a platform that has become synonymous with celebrating leadership, professionalism, and transformation in our society. On behalf of Limpopo Provincial Government, I want to convey our deep appreciation to the BMF for the crucial role you continue to play in shaping South Africa's economic transformation agenda. You inspire excellence, affirm black professionals, and create pathways for inclusive participation in the economy. Ladies and gentlemen, the importance of this body is not only in celebrating achievements, but also in growing Limpopo's economic development and investor appetite. Investors are always looking for environments where ethical leadership, professional competence, and good governance are prioritized. Through the work of BMF, Limpopo can be increasingly seen as a province where investment confidence is rising, where young professionals are empowered, and where businesses can be sure that their partnerships will yield value, not just for shareholders, but for the society. In this way, Mr. President, BMF is both a torchbearer of excellence and a catalyst for attractive, meaningful investments in our province. Program Director, this evening carries added significance because we are privileged to be addressed by the son of this soil, the Ngwana Wapano, Minister of International Relations and Cooperation, Ubvanepa Mingoni. Mingoni obvisa batho banje, Minister. I must indicate to you, I'm still a student in Mingoni. I'm tired of this thing of called Mister. I said, I can't be called Mister forever, man. Mr. Matibe, Mr. Matibe. I want another title behind my surname. If you remain president as Mr. Mpomtse, you will remain alone. Now I'm going away from that thing. You will start next year. The minister represents the very values we are celebrating tonight: discipline, professionalism, and excellence in the service of the nation. As we gather here, we do so mindful of the words of our Premier, Dr. Popira Matuba, who continues to remind us that, open quote, the growth of capable leaders institutions and professionals is the most powerful antidote to unemployment, poverty, and inequality. Close quotes. It is forums such as this that keep that vision alive by ensuring that businesses, government, and society rise together on the shoulders of skilled and ethical leadership. Without taking much of our time, allow me once again to thank BMF for your enduring contribution to the province and the nation. You are not only recognizing excellence, but also nurturing a culture that pushes us all to do better. It is now my honor and privilege to invite to the podium our keynote speaker, the Minister of International Relations and Cooperation, Minister Ronald Lamula. If we can rise to welcome him as a way of, and put our hands together until he arrives. We can do better than that.
Thank you very much, MEC Vochi Tareke Matibe, the councillor and the mayor of Tulamela local municipality, Bo your worship, Councillor Sarah Rambuda. I remember that we started this journey together. You are one of those that was here in the first inaugural meeting or gala of this nature. It's a great honor to see that you are still here. The president of the BMF, Mr. Mpo Mtseng, I must say that when we were being briefed and the person who was briefing us, working with the MEC, was saying to us, in the context of this evening, when you are referring to a president, they are referring to you. I said to the MEC that, you know, this thing of referring to someone to a president once caused problems for the Youth League, where there was a huge debate in an ANC conference, and the ANC was beginning to say, no, maybe the reason the Youth League is ungovernable is because even their president is called president. Maybe we must change it and call them chairperson. It was a huge issue in the conference of the ANC, and we were left with the name president, but the Youth League was disbanded. The recipients of today's Excellence Awards, Ms. Ndiambani Magadagela. Yeah, it's difficult, but I hope I've tried my best. At least it's not Maguduman. Professor Dr. Mashudu Chifularo, represented by his dear elder brother, Dr. Chifularo there. I also had the privilege to serve with him at the council of the Investor Venda. What you see now at Univen, we can proudly say we laid the foundation. The representatives of the Old Mutual, all esteemed guests and delegates here this evening. It is a great honor and a great pleasure for me to be here this evening to address this gathering. It is a great honor to see this gathering growing in endurance, becoming bigger and bigger every year. When it started, it was a quarter of what I see tonight. But after 7 years, I can see the growth. And I believe this represents an important pillar of any society. People coming together to compare notes, share notes, and to build a society together. And it is only such businesses or sectors that can succeed. One of the disadvantages we have had since democracy is black people not coming together to plan together for the future of their own country. To see you building like this, it is heartwarming, and I hope you can grow from strength to strength. Continue to compare the notes, because out of you, entrepreneurs of international significance will emerge and make a global impact and influence, not only in South Africa, but across the globe. We need these entrepreneurs. For far too long, the story of our continent, the story of Africa, the story of SADC, and the story of South Africa has been a tale told by others. For their own purposes, it is a narrative of a continent of immense potential, yet burdened by an unending cycle of extraction and export. It is time we change this narrative, not with mere words, but with profound transformative acts of self-determination. And I believe you are turning this narrative by telling your own stories, by awarding excellencies of your own in this occasion. By awarding Professor Chifularo, you are telling your own story. So that the story is not only told by someone somewhere, because they shape it in the manner in which suits their own. But when you tell the story, you shape the story of a child born out of this area, and tell the world that someone rising from this area can rise to the greater heights of scientific and doctoral influence across the globe. His invention was not just a South African one, but it has been of global impact, and is not the only one. There have been many. But if you begin to tell these stories, you are also saying to the young ones coming up after everyone that it is doable. By telling the story of your special guest, also Ndia, you are also telling a story that trading on this ever electric is possible by anyone. And you are narrating a story that it will be told by yourself, because you are now in a democratic South Africa. You have conquered. They usually say that history is sometimes told by the conquerors. But as this nation, we have changed this. We now have an opportunity to tell our own story. And for that, I want to applaud BMF for having taken this stride. You may just see it as just awarding an award, but it's of telling a story of black excellence, of changing the narrative, of redefining our society. I also want to use this opportunity to pay my tribute to some of the people who started with us. I know one of the prominent attorneys who was a member of the BMF, who passed away during the period of COVID, Mr. Lufuno Sigogo. May his soul rest in peace. As you have already said, and to from the investor vendor, the tribute to Professor Geslankondo. As I was seated there with Dr. Shfulara, I said to him, you know, you remember the discussions about the merger of the investor vendor with the investor of Limpopo. I think at the time it was called Teflop, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe the students, they don't know that if it was not the heroic acts of Professor Nkondo, having worked with traditional leaders around this area, and the communities, who will not be having what is now the investor vendor. It will have been merged with the investor of Limpopo. And I think at the time it was Medunsa. We fought a heroic act to keep the investor vendor what it is. A number of students led at the time by ourselves as students were led by our president, I think it was Chus Mushiu. But Prof. Nkondo argued that, and that's why I agree, Prof, that maybe you need a lecture. He argued that merging the investor vendor with the investor of Limpopo and Medunsa, at the time all of them were owing millions of rands, if not billions. He argued that that will be a consolidation of poverty. And there is no way that that university can survive. But he used a different strategy. Teflop argued the same thing, Medunsa argued the same thing. But there was one weapon that he used, which I believe won the day. He mobilized traditional leaders, traditional healers, everything. Professor Kada Asmal came to engage with the university community to understand the case of why University of Venda must not be merged. Traditional leaders were speaking English there. Traditional healers and Prof. Kada Asmal was surprised and shocked. Say, in Venda, even traditional healers speak so much fluent English. They argued why the University of Venda must not be merged. I believe this is a story that must also be told. The area of Vembe is home to the biggest border post in the southern African region and one of the biggest in the continent, the Beit Bridge border post. I'm from there. I had a meeting there this afternoon with my counterpart from Zimbabwe. Beit Bridge serves as the primary gateway on the north-south corridor for trade and movement between our country and the rest of the region. It is also a key border post to the north-south corridor and a primary access point for landlocked countries like Zambia, Malawi, Botswana, the DRC, and of course Zimbabwe, to access our ports and markets. I understand that the border handles daily volume of more than 13,000 travelers and thousands of trucks, thus making it the busiest land border post in the southern African region. I am giving you these statistics because you are entrepreneurs. What are the opportunities available in this traffic that you are handling? 13,000 people passing through the border post of Beit Bridge. Maybe you need to have your own plans because government won't tell you what are the business opportunities. We have created the environment that is enabling, but on your own, you must be able to see what is doable. It's 13,000. It's a huge opportunity. It will not just be seen as a place of transport. You must view this traffic as an economic opportunity and create your own economic corridor of manufacturing, of sale of products between the whole of SADC. Everything that goes to Tanzania from South Africa pass through the Beit Bridge border post. That goes to Angola, Zambia, all the countries. Is not the biggest just in South Africa, in the southern African region. And I suspect that once South Africa, we have concluded the number of interoperability, it might be the biggest border post in the African continent. So there is a huge opportunity. Africa holds approximately 30% of the world's mineral reserves, an extraordinary endowment of resources critical to the global future. Roughly half of the world's vanadium, platinum, and diamonds origins are in the region of Africa. Along with 36% of gold, 20% of cobalt are within the Southern African Development Community. We possess the very building blocks of the green energy transition. There will be no green energy transition in the world if Africa does not make a contribution of the digital age and of new global economy. And yet this is the very same continent where, according to recent reports, over 100 million people within the SADC region still live without access to electricity. The last indicative report of the SADC assessment report with regards to trade in the region indicates that SADC countries are trading with each other at a mere 21%. Our economy will only grow at about 5% if we achieved regional integration at a more bigger scale than the current 21%. As I've said, I was meeting my counterpart from Zimbabwe, And one of the issues we agreed on is to break down all barriers of trade between the two countries to enable easy integration of our economies. And as we were moving around, we drove for about an hour. He was showing me that, you see, in this community they speak Chivenda. So he told me the name of the suburb just next to the Bedbridge border post. I asked him, what is the name of this suburb? I think he said Zivalandila or something like that. I said, hey, but that sounds Venda. He said, no, yes, they speak Venda. I said, how? I didn't know they speak Venda here. And then as we were driving, he says, no, here they speak Shangani. I said, how? As I was surprised, he said, no, it's even in the constitution of Zimbabwe. That Sangane is a language in Zimbabwe. He said, no, there's also even Shitsonga, there's Xhosa, all of them, Ndebele, they are in the constitution of Zimbabwe. So it does show that our cultures, everything is integrated. We have got very good relations, including political relations. But we do not have the level of economic integration. That is what we all need to work on. You know, your kids, some of them go to Zimbabwe to school, some of Zimbabwe come to South Africa to school. But our economic trade and integration is very low. And you know, our economy for the past 15 years has been growing at less than 1%. We have not been able to grow above 3% or have sustained level of economic growth of 3% consecutively. And as a result, we are struggling to create jobs. So it does show that there is a need for intervention at the low level of the economy. Small businesses, and when we say small businesses, we know that the majority are those that were excluded under apartheid, the majority of black South Africans. And I believe this is a role BMF needs to play. And I was excited when I saw Rendani from Munati Chicken and Steak here. Because as I was seated there, when I saw that beautiful building, I'm saying to MEC Matiwe, I say, I don't know this building. I always come here. Which building is this? But then as he was speaking, as they were showing us the video, they showed us the red semi-informal structure. I said, no, I know that one. Because I've been there many times. Rendani, you just don't know. Yeah, I even know it was on the Punta Maria Road, I think on the left. Even when you started somewhere under a tree, yeah, a friend of mine used to take me there to eat because he said, hey, there's very nice meat there. I think it was Rolino Nolomondo. So I've been there many times. So this thing that we do not support you is not true. We were there at the initial stages. But on a serious note, I do believe that there's a role that ourselves as government can play to support your work. As a Department of International Relations, the almost 50% or 70% of big business in the African continent are South African. You name it, ShopRite, MultiChoice. If you go to Ghana today and watch soccer, you will be watching it on MultiChoice. Or even if you go to Nigeria, or any country in the African continent, except maybe the Francophone speaking countries. It may not be multi-choice. But most in the whole continent is multi-choice. ShopRite, Old Mutual, the one who was speaking here, I addressed the 10-year anniversary of Old Mutual in Ghana. Old Mutual is all over the African continent. Aspen. Many South African conglomerates are all over the African continent. But we have said to DTIC, when we say business to business in the continent, we don't mean only big business. Also, small businesses and black entrepreneurs must be part of the investment drive in the continent. There is a space for small businesses, players like yourself, to play a role in the continent of Africa. So as they were presenting the Munati thing, I say, man, we have got Galitos in Zimbabwe. Why can't we have Munati there in Zimbabwe? It's not far from Toyando, for sure. Your business studies can check it out. I'm not saying you must wake up and do it tomorrow. You must do your own feasibility studies. Because they sometimes say, yeah, politicians just speak. I also ran a business. I know that you need to do feasibility studies. It must be scientific. But if Munati has succeeded here in Toyando, there's no reason why it can't succeed on the other side of the border. And this is more closer. You can build from there in the SADC region. And I believe that is the space that we must help you. We deliberately invite the premier in the various engagements. MEC Matiwe, he has been with us in some of them. Economic drives in China, Japan, and so forth. Even in the continent, we want to see you come there. You know, DTIC has got that platform that can enable you to travel. When they say there's a business-to-business engagement, even if there's nothing, I mean, some of these things DTIC does subsidize, but even if they don't subsidize, you can come on your own just to see what is happening, what is there in Zimbabwe, what is it that, so in this province, your closest area is Zim. So you must see Zim as a market of growth for businesses here in Limpopo. I've heard you say you want to go all over for the 9 provinces. But this is not only for you with the Munati chicken. It's for everyone. So there is SADC protocol on trade. You must not see this when we speak in these big conferences and you think these some big things, they have got no impact on your business. They do have an impact. There is even a SADC protocol dealing with small businesses, which affect yourselves. So these are not some big issues that only belongs to the president and big businesses. We enabled ShopRite. They may not acknowledge it and say it, but it's the black government, ANC government, that has made it possible for ShopRite to trade all over the continent. There was no ShopRite anywhere in the continent before 1994. There was no multi-choice anywhere in the continent before 1994. There was no Old Mutual in Ghana before 1994. If they were, it was mostly in the Southern African region, maybe Namibia, around here, which still had some linkages with the apartheid government. But the growth of these businesses has been as a result of the ANC government. And we have to do the same for our own black entrepreneurs. And that is a drive. You being so organized, working together this well, through the doors of the MEC, DTIC, and ourselves, you must check how are these things possible? How are they doable? And how can you sell your product across the border? And that is why we also have the Africa Free Trade Area. The biggest markets indeed are in the US and so forth, but even Africa is now beginning to create a market. And the Africa Free Trade Area, the flagship program, is aimed to help us with that regional integration. And regional integration will not be possible only with government. What we will do, we will sign the protocols. But those protocols won't implement themselves. You as businesses must implement. And when we say you as business, we are not only referring to big business. And that is what I want to leave with you tonight. That businesses means everyone, big and small. There is a role you can play in this continent. You just have to ask the right questions in the right platform, and the doors of the MEC there is open, trade and industry. And if there is confusion, ourselves can also help to clarify where there is confusion, how to do business in Zimbabwe. Let's stop this thing of just talking about our region only when we talk about illegal immigrants. Which is true, illegal immigrants must be dealt with, must be resolved through the law. But there is a positive side to it. And that is what we need to look into. What is it that we can do to trade with our African brothers? Because with our population of 60 million, you will never be able to grow at the level that you want in our economy. We need scale. And that's why the AU agreed on the Africa Free Trade Area. Because it makes us a bigger population. We can now speak about the whole continent, 1 billion. But 60 million in economic terms is nothing. To some of these big economies, like the US, China, India, when you say 60 million, they just say, but please, man. You need, in the global scheme of things, of trade and investment, they speak billions when they talk about the market. So that is what as South Africans we need to realize and understand and appreciate the value of the Africa Free Trade Area so that we can operate together, work with our African brothers to build a regional economy that can benefit all of us. It is also against this background that in our hosting of the G20, South Africa has put in the forefront the issue of critical minerals, beneficiation at source in the African continent. It is there, it's in the concept document. And the G20 will speak on this, how the Global North help us to beneficiate in South Africa these critical minerals that we have. But we will not beneficiate them ourselves as government. It must be entrepreneurs. But yourself as the Black Management Forum, you also have a bigger role to mobilize black entrepreneurs to seize the opportunities that are coming through this. Let's leave this sloganeering of talking about the beneficiation and manufacturing when we are not doing it. Let's do it. And when you complain about the issue of access to the market. I am glad that in this gathering, I have not heard a lot of complaints. That is usually the case when you attend meetings of black professionals. We don't get briefs, we don't get this and that and that. But you are saying, how do we contribute to resolve these economic challenges our country is facing? He's saying he has employed 80 people. Help me to employ more. That is the spirit. And I see the spirit amongst yourself that is what you want to do. And we are here to support you achieve this because we understand that ourselves as government cannot implement. We can only create an enabling environment. By signing the protocols, by putting the laws in place, you come in, collaborate with those that have the skills from South Africa or from anywhere in the world who must help you with the technology that you need to build industries. So there is no miracle. If you look at the history of some of these businesses that are across the continent, they started small. They started like yourself under the tree. You look at the history of ShopRite. He started with one shop. Galitos, I was still working for the provincial government in Mpumalanga when Galitos was started in Bombela with one shop. Today, Galitos is in many parts of the continent. In New York, you eat Nando's today, and in Europe. But they were not there. They were enabled by this government. What I want to leave you with is that you yourself also, the South African government is there. We can take you to New York. We can take you to Harare. We can take you to Ghana. We can take you to anywhere where you want to go and trade. Bring your skills, do your feasibility studies. We are there to support that. With these words, I want to congratulate the recipients of tonight's awards, and may the sky be the limit. Thank you very much.
A round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. As you were giving some statistics, and I must say that I'm protected by the branch. I was asked to find a nice way to correct the Honorable Minister to say, yes, it's true, there's 13,000 people crossing the border from Zimbabwe every day. But you are counting those who are crossing on top of the bridge. There is a bigger number that are crossing under the bridge. And so we just need to correct that statistic so that we are aware that there's a lot of potential. Indeed, as you were talking about business opportunities, I'm like, hi man, we're already trading with Zimbabwe, man. They bring cigarettes. Yes, no, there's a lot of cigarettes. We send Toyotas there. That's how it happens. There's an exchange of product. They bring cigarettes, we send Toyota Bakkies, Toyota Land Cruisers, all under the bridge. It's happening. We just need to legalize it and formalize it. Then the broader economy of South Africa will benefit. Thank you, Minister Ronald Lamola. We really do appreciate those words. Great eye-opening numbers there. We have come to that point why we gathered here, why we came together, and that is where our honorable recipients will be honored in a special way. And for that, I'm going to request our president, Mr. Mpho Motsei, to come to the fore. When the time comes for the first award, he will be joined by Your Worship, Councillor Sarah Rambuda, Mayor of Thulamela Local Municipality, Honorable Chitereke Matibe, MEC of Lidet, and kindly please, Honorable Minister Ronald Lamola, when the time comes, you will come through on the stage. Thank you.
All right, colleagues, the reason why we are here tonight, we tried to push the program, it moved very fast. So, saying why we are here. This is the reason why we are here. So, I'm gonna read and just explain a little bit about the recipient here, our lovely lady, Ndi Yamagatakela. So, Minister, I sent Ndia a post And I said, and it was showing what is happening in Switzerland, that they are really very progressive. They even have a road that you just drive, the electric car is charging as you drive. So I said to her, we need to make a trip going there. And indeed, with your facilitation, we'll go with you there. We are willing to pay for ourselves, Minister. So colleagues, let me take this opportunity to read this bio so that you should understand who are we honoring tonight, that we don't take people under the bridge. Under normal circumstances, when we honor someone in Limpopo and in BMF, we go check and do due diligence. I went to her workplace, I met her partner, and I wanted to understand, because this thing of fronting people, you see a woman in front, there are actual business people behind. So I wanted to check whether this is the truth or not. And indeed, when I get there, I saw her in her work suit. I saw her with the safety boots. So Ndia is the CEO and co-founder of Ever Electric, a pioneering force in South Africa's green mobility revolution. She holds a BComt honors in accounting sciences, a postgraduate diploma in auditing, and is a qualified chartered accountant. So, colleagues, are honorable Matula Tsatsi. That's not our issue. She should have just decided and say, can I just go to Deloitte and stay there? Her career began at Deloitte Pretoria, after which she transitioned into development finance, serving as a senior deal maker at the Industrial Development Corporation of South Africa. There, she honed her expertise in due diligence investigations and transaction structuring across key sectors, including chemical and aligned industries, heavy manufacturing and agro-processing. She later advanced to the role of principal in mergers and acquisition at JSE-listed Momentum Metropolitan Holdings. Today, Ndia is a director at Black Slope Group, which operates two dynamic divisions. Black Slopes Consulting, offering innovation, corporate venturing, and management consulting services across South Africa and internationally. Black Slopes Mobility, trading as Ever Electric, a trailblazing electric vehicle leasing business. Ever Electric is the first South African company to integrate cut-edging international EVs, charging infrastructure, bespoke financing solution, making fleet electrification seamless and accessible. Beyond her executive roles, now you can clap. You can clap, colleagues. This is the reason why we're here. Beyond her executive roles, Ndia contributes her expertise as a non-executive director on multiple boards. She is a director on the following boards: Women's Development Bank, Limpopo Economic Development Agency, New Era Life. A celebrated leader, Ndia has been awarded the following: 2023 Leading Entrepreneur by the African Women Chartered Accountants. One of Africa's top women in mobility 2023. A 2024 finalist for the prestigious I can't read this now. Yes, Bold Women Award. Ndia is a wife. Oh, I thought you were not married. Now I'm joking, I know. Remember, I do my due diligence. Sometimes personal life affects business. Ndia is a wife and mother of 2 teenage boys with passions for travels, cooking, and reading. Adding to her list of her accolades, I'm proud to present colleagues, the BMF Most Progressive Business Leader of the year 2025. Ladies and gentlemen, Ndia Magadangel. Thank you very much. Ma'am, thank you very much. Here it is. We present it. Where's the camera? Where's the camera? Here is the camera. There you go. Yes. Yes. You can come this side, ma'am, so that we can. Yep. Must not fall. Cameras. Are we ready? Thank you very much. We'll give you an opportunity to say a word or two. I hope you are ready. Thank you very much. Yes, can hold it for you.
Lokovera. Allow me to stand on the protocol that has already been established, but I have to greet the following people: Honorable Minister Lamula and my boss, so that I can still be on the board, MEC Chitereke. It is a profound honor to stand in front of you today. You see, being an entrepreneur, I'm glad I'm talking to other business people in the room, is very lonely. It's a lonely road. Who agrees? I'm hearing an amen here in the front. It can be very lonely. Sometimes the nights are long. It's indeed blood, sweat, and tears. But today just reminds me that a girl who was born in the village of Shanja, not very far from here, can really be celebrated. So to the BMF, this for me is an opportunity to trade my safety boots for an evening gown. You won't find me like this on Monday. But I'm grateful that I got a chance to do my makeup and stand here. But it is an opportunity to get a pat on the back. Because when you're in business, you don't get the pat on the back. It's the 25th when salaries must be paid and debtors have not paid you. It's all the things that come with entrepreneurship, so I'm grateful. For me personally, this moment is so big. Actually, when the president of BMF called me, I thought it was a scam. Because I was like, me? How? You guys take me seriously? But I'm so grateful. Often the sacrifices of this journey are felt most by the people closest to us, that is our families. So tonight, I'm proud to say my 82-year-old mother is here. You know, for all these years, my mom would not miss an opportunity to be on the sidelines cheering. And most importantly, praying for me. No matter what the event, a big event like today, or even back in the day when I would get awards for 100% school attendance. Well, I was in boarding school, so where else was I supposed to be? To my big sisters who are also here today, but I'm so grateful. They're the ones that pick up the children from school when mommy is busy gallivanting in the name of work. And then to my wonderful husband, Andrew. Andrew now deserves to take my maiden surname, Andrew Nengovela. He quite literally picks up all the balls that I could have dropped. I'm so grateful. He never dims my light. He lets me shine. And everywhere, let's give him a round of applause. It cannot be easy being married to a dreamer. Imagine this woman comes to you and says, I want to start an electric vehicle company during stage 6 of load shedding. I'm sure he could have said to me, you are mad, but he probably thought it, but he didn't say it. And then to my sons, Moano and Gundo, are not here today because one is playing a league match tomorrow. They really are the reason why I jump out of bed. And my business partners, who could not be here today because we are busy working on a deal that could be a changer for our business, a game changer for our business. The award today really goes out to each and every business person in the room. So I'm a girl that came from Shanja. I grew up in Hamashamba, but 6 years ago, we decided to start a business because we wanted to contribute to the transition of the South African logistics industry from internal combustion engines to electric vehicles so that we can contribute to the reduction of carbon emissions in our world. And at the time, you can clap. At the time, I remember that we took years and years, it must have been 3 years of knocking on financiers' doors. And doors were shut in our faces. I stopped counting at 30 no's from banks, financiers, government departments, anything where they were saying they will not fund this business. And since then, because God is good and because really when you have a dream and you work towards it, there's always an answer. Since then, we can name just a few of our clients: Woolworths, Aramex, DHL, Eskom, DSV, and the list continues, UPD, Clicks. We've moved from having a fleet of 0 with a PowerPoint presentation and like a good accountant, an Excel spreadsheet, to having 5 vehicles on the road for many years, for 2 years, and now our fleet will be nearing 400 in a few months. I'm truly grateful, and I'm saying that this award is for every entrepreneur in the room because nobody's going to give you that pat on the back. But I said to the students at Univen the other month when I came to give a public lecture that you might wonder what kept me resolute. And I'm not there yet. I'm still building this business. I realized that there's a seed time and a harvest time. And right now, as we are building, it's our seed time. And seed time or building requires a different proclivity. It requires you to go out of your comfort zone and to build without getting tired. But I realize that if we are diligent in our time of seed time, of planting, indeed, when the harvest time comes, it will find us not only ready in financial status, but also ready in our character. So we are reading all these things in the papers because when resource came, character was not built. And I hope that each and every one of you here is building character as it is tough. But I'm so grateful to the BMF. And I hope that in 30 years' time, when you award me the lifetime, because I still have at least 40 years to go, I hope that I would have made an impact. I realize that this is not just about me. It's about the young people that we can train. It's about the young people that we can employ in our business. But indeed, I will not complain, Minister, but we do need your support because we want to go into the continent. Thank you, thank you, thank you. The MC was the DJ at our wedding 16 years ago.
Oh, so there you get a CV. You see, I come from somewhere. I know people. Me. Oh, man. Now I don't have anything to say. Yeah, but we really appreciate to see great ideas coming to fruition. For the next presentation, I'm going to request once again our president for BMF, Mr. Mpomutseyi, to come to the fore. This time around, he'll be joined by Toyando Branch Chair, Tom Dagada, Miss Daisy Rapila, BMF Limpopo Chairperson, and Honorable Chitereke Matibe, MEC Lidet, and of course, our Honorable Minister Ronald Lamola.
So the protocol, ladies, you must make sure the award must be given by Minister Lamula, not me. All right, colleagues, and I drove an electric car. She made me drive it. But we are very proud, my sister, and Daddy at home. Change the sign name. Mine is about to change. And now I've been staying here for quite some time. And now hey, this thing came at heart. So this presidency helped me. I jumped very quickly to run away. But colleagues, I think now this is one of the most important one for us. It's a Lifetime Achievement Award. And we don't just give it to any other person, but we give it to people who deserve it, right? I'm gonna give a background a little bit. I need my phone, Rendan. There's a reason why I need my phone. I had to call a doctor last night and with my wife so that I can, he can help me pronounce. Yeah, so I have it here on voice note. This is serious, colleagues. You make your research, and maybe you don't believe what I'm saying.
They did you dirty there by putting that otorhinolaryngology.
You see? So I'm serious about this research of mine. I needed to make it. All right, colleagues, we are giving a lifetime award, and it's very serious for us, and we're taking it very seriously as the BMF. We are honoring today Professor Mashudu Chifularo. And I think I'm not calling it correctly. We were also corrected here. Let me call it from the beginning and start it, Bafui. Sorry very much. Let me call it nicely as you taught us. Professor Dr. Mashudu Chifularo. Yes. Head of Department of, now I'm going to go to that word. Otorhinolaryngology. In simple put, nose, ear, throat surgeon. Faculty of Health Sciences and University of Pretoria. Professor Chifularo is a medical specialist in the field of nose, ear, throat. His extensive experience and expertise has led to several innovations in that field. As a clinician, his ability to successfully assess the medical needs of patients has allowed him to implement suitable treatment plans across a wide range of ear, nose, throat conditions. In 2019, Professor Chifularo pioneered the groundbreaking 3D middle ear transplant technique. I think we need to clap hands for that. It is internationally recognized. It is an international person who was born right here. His work has been profiled in newspapers, magazine, on radio, Twitter, Facebook, and other social media, as well as on television, including Mnet, Carte Blanche, CNBC. Professor Chifularo has been congratulated by the Premier, the MEC, the Minister of Health, the President of South Africa. He has published his research in academic journals and presented numerous international conferences. Professor Chifularo is also a pastor. And somehow I suspect Your husband is not a pastor. Yeah. We are honoring pastors, yeah. No, there's a spirit going on, an anointing. I can feel the spirit. You must go deeper. The Minister of International Relations and Cooperation, the MEC of Limpopo Economic Development, Environment and Tourism, it is an honor and pride for me to present the Lifetime Achievement Award to Prof. Dr. Mashudu Chifularo. And Bafu will come and accept on our behalf. Can we stand as we clap hands and the bigger brother comes as he's going to. Minister, you can come because you need to hand over the award. Minister, this is you who's supposed to give it to him. Thank you very much.
Hey, Dr. Manne. Yeah, no, recording. No, thank you very much, Mr. Mutsei. I wanted to say Mr. because I know the maiden name of his wife. Thank you very much. Minister Lamula, MEC Matibe, Bo Meara, Bo Ramboda, the chairperson of the provincial BMF, on behalf of my younger brother, Mashudu, Israel, Jacob, Chifularo, I say thank you very much. Mashudu is my younger brother. He's the third born from the same womb. And he was born here in Venda at a village called Modzidzidzi. After 2 years, our father was a migrant worker. He was working in Gauteng, PWV by then, staying in Natal Spruit, in Germiston. So my mother went to Gauteng, as you knew that, it was that type of life by then. That's where he grew up in Natal Spruit until he started school at a primary called Mutingati in Natal Spruit. I don't know what it is named now. It was a Venda and Shangan, school, a primary school there. But immediately after passing grade 2, which was sub B by then, he came back to Mbahela, where he started this career, schooling at Mianzui Primary School until he passed standard 5 by then. Yes, standard 5, and he came to Ramboda Secondary School. I was a teacher by then, teaching biology and mathematics. I taught him maths and biology up to Form 4. Mashudu was outstanding from the beginning. He was very intelligent. He would sit there as if he's not listening. I remember I was a class teacher of Form 4, teaching maths and biology. And you know, at school, when you have to compile a schedule during, test, teachers will bring marks to you. But I marked, all the scripts. Zabana both ba form 4. Mashudu excelled, and he was up there in his marks. So I realized that, hey, some teachers will say, no, he gave him because his younger brother. I cut them. Zabuya kazabang. He was being taught physical science by one of the able teachers, Bangwabawadi Wabompaga. And English was being taught by Mr. Renas Malinda, who was also a lecturer, senior lecturer here at the University of Venda. When they brought the marks to me to compile a schedule, I realized that no, they are also up there. I had to return these marks back. Mashudu was very disciplined, very intelligent, and I'm not surprised. He finished his education, in time. He started, here at the University of Venda in 1982, if I remember very well. No, 1983. Because when I taught him in 1981, he was still at Ramboda High School. And then he came here and, because we were staying here in Golgotha, he attended his matric here at Diman. Diman was still here at the University of Venda before it became a University of Venda. That's where he did his matric. I remember he got prizes in maths and physical science and biology, which we call life sciences now. It was called biology. And, he excelled. He was competing with a certain girl in languages from Chauru, a certain Mutaji, if I remember. She was very good, very, very intelligent. So they were the two students in matric who were competing. And he also got an award to go to overseas in Maths Olympiad because he was so good. And he started his BSc course 1 here at the University of Venda. From there, he went down to the University of Natal to do his medicine, starting in 1984 until he finished. And all over where he went, Mashudu was excelling. I'm not surprised. He was getting a lot of awards ever since he did what he did all over the world. You will tell me, I'm going to Japan, they are awarding me. I'm going to Germany, I'm going to Canada, I'm going to Nigeria, they are awarding me. I'm going to Australia. But this one is a special one because it's coming from home. BMF Limpopo, thank you very much. Nendikoto ulibuwa ori at least awadiwa napano ayana. I wish he could be here. I'm sure he will have a lot to say. But on behalf of him and his family and all the siblings and everybody, I say thank you very much. Dikoto ulibuwa ori zukweitea in the presence of our honorable minister. And he was right. We served together when he was in the SRC here at the University of Venda. I served here at the council for 2 terms, about 12 years if I'm not wrong, before I went to Northwest. We could see that we have got a leader. When he speaks, we could listen. And I'm not surprised that the whole world is listening to him today. And I was reminding him why, University of Venda was producing, good lawyers. They had a very good department of law, the best in the country by then. The second was the University of Zululand. The time when he was here, we could see that they are being trained thoroughly. Even if you look at the lawyers from this side, most of them coming from the University of Venda, they are the best lawyers.
And no wonder our minister is being respected internationally and here. He is coming from a very good training. And we thank you very much, Minister, for honoring this function, especially when my younger brother is being honored. This is very, very... Like I indicated, I didn't prepare a speech because I was just told, 30 minutes before the start of this function that I will have to receive this. But I think I've said something that he will also be very proud to know. I will hand over this to him and tell him that he has been honored in the presence of the minister and the MEC, and that is an honor, particularly, with the, host, Mayor Warambo that Kolibwangamanda honor. There are a lot of people here that I've seen and that I've thought I will recognize. Just to avoid making any mistake, I'm not going to mention their names. Some big names, if you know them, we have seen here. There are a lot of people. And thank you very much for coming to be a witness during the award ceremony where my younger brother is being honored. Thank you very much. Ava munawa. Ndisongamba. Oh.
I think you wanted to expose me. This Sunday, not long ago, I greeted him like I would greet his brother. A case of mistaken identity. It was in Luitrigad in front of Spa. I'm like, hey, what dokotela? But the good thing is that he didn't say, I seen the man. He just took the honor as well and enjoyed being a doctor for that moment. No, Roribua nga manda. Ladies and gentlemen, we have come towards the end of the program. But before I ask Secretary ya BMF Limpopo, Mr. Marcus Mukumera, to come and give a vote of thanks and announcements, I'm going to request our President, Mr. Mutsei, to come to the stage once again so that we can award some gifts to appreciate some of the guests, honored guests that have graced us with their presence. In no particular order, I'm going to request our Limpopo chair to come and receive a gift. Daisy, please, if you could come to the stage. And obviously, Professor Chiridzi Munauzi, on behalf of the University of Venda, would also kindly request our Mayor, Your Worship, Councillor Sarah Rambuda, Mayor of Tulamela Local Municipality, to come and receive a gift. And our MEC, Honorable Chitereke Matibe, maybe we should forgo this one because he's cementing and pushing a propaganda yauri next year I must not be here. so maybe he must not get a gift, but let him come through as well. Honorable Minister Ronald Lamula, if you could come through and receive your gift as well. Let me get out of the shot. Let me get out of the picture. Thank you. A round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. As our honorable minister is going to sit down and Wumukumela is coming to the stage, let me just say that I was a kind of DJ. I was watching when the minister was sitting in front of Donald Trump on television. And I'm like, what? If I was there, I was gonna do something, at least something yana. You know, the one idea that just to show my disdain for the man, I thought to myself, maybe. No, you know what? Let's leave it. It's almost time. It's almost time to eat. Let's get Womukumela. Let's give him a warm round of applause.
Thank you, Program Director. Thank you for always being available for our event and for leading us. You are truly a good leader. We'll still keep you in your space. Thank you for keeping us awake throughout the session. Bodagada, thank you for welcoming us and introducing our guest. Thank you for being the chairperson of the biggest branch in the country. We can see the work that you are doing, mentoring young people, just like the program director and the deputy chairperson, the secretary. He is leading the biggest branch. Thank you for introducing our guest. Bo Mera, Bo Rambuda, thank you for hosting us in your town. I know people are not just here for BMF event. People will still be here tomorrow until Sunday. Some will even leave on Monday. They are going to Royal Gardens just because of your hospitality. Chairperson, thank you for being the chairperson of BMF. Since the day when our current BMF president was elevated, she took the ropes and she's leading us. Thank you, Medesi. Badao, thank you for continuously supporting us from Old Mutual. We don't just take you as a sponsor. We now take you as a partner. I don't know if BMF and the Old Mutual were people who was going to change the surname. One of them was going to change. But thank you for also taking care of our wealth. One day I'll be rich. My money is there. Well, Makare, you are a very good example of business people. Thank you for being so innovative and initiating the type of business that you have started and continuously working towards getting more branches. And I trust you. You'll make it. Keep it going. To our president, thank you for leading us, starting at the branch level, going to the province, and now becoming the first president from our province. We are following. Thank you for being the brain behind the event that you are having today and being so innovative. We thank you for believing in that vision and making sure that it happens, and also making sure that the minister is always available. Thank you, President. To Prof. Mrauzi from the University of Venda. We thank Univen for producing academics, for producing politicians, and for producing business people, most of them being around us today. I'm proud to say I sit in the board here, Univen Center for Entrepreneurship and Rapid Incubator, and indeed, we are turning the University of Venda into an entrepreneurship university. And I'm also proud to be a product of the University of Venda. So keep up the good work. To our MEC, thank you for always availing yourself when we have events, and thank you for introducing our honorable minister. We also thank you for encouraging us to study. You see, in the board that I've just spoken about, I'm the only one who is referred to as Mr. The others are doctors and professors. So I'm also following. I'm going to study to change my title just like you. I don't even have words to our honorable minister. The passion that you have towards the BMF event, and also for standing by your word to say this is supposed to be an annual event and continuously honoring our annual event. Thank you for believing in BMF to say BMF Limpopo can make it. Indeed, will continue making sure that we honor people who are changing lives in our country. And I also thank you for not forgetting, I don't want to say you are rude, but not forgetting where you gathered your knowledge and skills. Indeed, you learned from one of the best universities that is continuously producing academics, politicians, and business people. Young people, I know we have students from the student chapter, continue to study. One day we are going to honor you. To our recipients, BMF is always watching what people are doing throughout the country, be it in business, be it in leadership. We watched, we vetted, and we analyzed what we are doing, whether it's making impact or not in the country. We realized that the two recipients for tonight, they really fit our criteria. So well done. I want to thank everyone who was part of the event, students from the student chapter, our young professionals, family members who supported their families. Thank you for being part of the event. Koroni, we thank you for your hospitality. You have been there for us throughout. We always have our events in your establishment. So continue doing the good work. More so because it is now managed by one of our own. Thank you for keeping us in your place. Ladies and gentlemen, the night was a bit long, but it's still fresh. We still have time to network. But as Africans, we always celebrate with food. Dinner is going to be served. I therefore invite everyone for dinner. But with all respect, I'll request our president and the table where he's seated to be the first one to go to the back and get meals. Then table number 2, which is on my right, will follow. Table number 3 on my left, where the program director is seated, should follow. Then table number 4, and then the rest of us will follow just like that. President, you can take the lead. Thank you.